and we live after 5 seconds. That was supposed to be way faster than that, so I could rhyme good. All right, all right, all right, all right. Are we inviting people? Are we doing stuff like that? Let's see if I can see you live on here. Oh, did you go live yet?
Yeah, I just did it.
Hold on. Trump signs executive order to stop sending foreign aid to every country in the world except Israel and Ukraine.
Of course.
Talk about the bamboozle, man. Yo, my God. I guess neo Nazis and genocide is his definition of making America great again, huh?
Yeah, apparently.
My God, that is
So, I
it.
mean, through this, I learned some interesting stuff that the Nazi salute was actually based off of American tradition.
American? I know they have a Roman salute. I know that.
No, the Roman salute is based off of us as well. So
How
it
is
used to
the
be
Roman?
called
How is the Roman salute based on anything modern?
because the Roman salute doesn't reference Roman times. It was just Italian fascists that used it to mock American students in
There you
American classrooms during the World War. And then that's when we distanced ourselves from the salute because it looked like a Nazi Heil. So, but
I was under the impression that a Roman salute was from Roman times, but thank you for correcting.
it was just Italians who did it, so they called it a
Appreciate
Roman
that.
salute.
I'm listening.
Um, but yeah, no, school children used to have their own little American flags
Mm-hmm.
in the classroom, and you would hold it out in front of you as you did the Pledge of Allegiance. And then they brought it so that there was one big flag in every classroom, so people didn't carry their little personal flag that they held out in front of them. So what happened was when they did their Pledge of Allegiance, they still stuck their hand out as if you had a flag in your hand, and then the Italian fascists took it and made fun of it, called it the Roman salute, and then Adolf adopted it from them. Isn't America awesome? By the way, it was stopped in 1942. My mom was born in 1949.
Oh man, did you know that there was under in the 40s there was an attempt to have a coup by sympathizers of the Nazi party, and if they had this one general, I can't remember his name, if they had this one general, and if he would have subscribed to the ideology, America would have a Nazi regime. And he literally told them like, yeah, 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 I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And then he went. It was like, yo, these niggas are trying to take over the country, bro. And nobody went to jail for that.
Of course,
You
I
wanna,
mean nobody goes to jail
you wanna
for
know another
treason
fun fact?
now. So
One of those people who were involved with that, his name was Prescott Bush, the grandfather of George Bush, the father of George Bush.
well, Elon Musk's grandfather wrote a book talking about how he believed South Africa was going to be the home of white fascism, white
So
nationalist fascism. So we're not.
Elon Musk, plural, history, familial history is wild, crazy, sketchy. So when people be like, "Oh my God, Elon Musk, Elon Musk, Elon Musk," I'm like, first of all, he's not American. Second of all, he is descended from, if
And
I'm
he's
not
a legal immigrant.
probably Belgian. Uh, I think his ancestors are Belgian, but like used to rape the Congo Belgian, like that, like not like
Oh, like
oh
oh, okay,
chocolate and nice, like nah, like imperialist Belgian,
okay,
who also they had
like
ties to South America
the
before,
worst. Uh,
of the worst.
the
Listen, I
uh.
don't I don't want to hear don't bring up no Holocaust to me if we're not talking about
That's what I'm talking. That's the word I was looking for. I said the worst
Leopold.
Holocaust
If
to
we
ever
not
happen
talking
to
about
Earth.
Leopold, I ain't got nothing to say, dog. I ain't got nothing to say if we not talking about Leopold. Real talk. Real talk. With that being
Happy
said,
New Year.
Happy New Year. 22 days in. 22 days in.
We took a month off.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a lot of good things. I mean, you know what's funny? I, I'm being tested right now. I didn't realize that I was. So remember, one of the things that I talked about, like I just realized it as we were talking, because you had said something to me last night when we spoke, and you was like, "Yo, man, you gotta learn how to deal with shit a certain way." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not saying you wrong, you were right, but I'm like, but this ain't that. Like I'm mad at. I think this is like, external forces or whatnot. Nevertheless, so one of the things that I've been harping on the past few weeks is like how I have to take my relationship with money and make it more business. So even if I'm trading or something like that, I always try to look at it like this is a thing that I do. I see the thing, either I won or I didn't. That's it, and you leave, right? Um, I was more upset the last couple of days is because like I've been 100% right, but the system was against me. Like, goddamn. So it's like I said, I used a baseball analogy last night. Like, you go to bat up, and as soon as you start to swing, the umpire's like, "You out." You're like, "Wait a minute, I didn't even swing yet." You know what I mean? The ball's in the air. Like, pause. I'm just like that. That'll probably frustrate anyone. But in actuality, I think it reveals to me that I still have an emotional tie to money that I need to let go. Because it's not so much as because if this had happened with nothing at stake, yeah, I mean, obviously you're mad if you lose anything, right? But if that's the case, I should just be just as mad at the extra money that I spent for my daughter's birthday.
Is it okay to get mad if you lose anything?
Depending on, I believe depending on how. Like some things it just with the nature, right? Some things are like, nah, I got cheated or somebody stole from me. You know what I mean? Like
Yes,
those
that's
are
angry.
those are different. So, but what I'm saying is like the anger that I have the last 2 days. Don't get me wrong, it was significantly more money that I lost. Well, at least in 2 days. But when I overall look at it, in my head, I had budgeted. I would spend $450. Nah, it was $1,500. So in actuality, it's about the same extra that I spent versus what I lost, right? And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not up in arms, flipping tables and breaking my fucking office chair because of that.
Yes.
You dig what I'm saying? So if I'm flipping tables for one, I should be flipping tables for the other. Now I get it. I get it. Like I feel wronged. I did not shut my computer down. I feel wrong. I feel like I was right and something happened, but then at the same time, I was under the impression that they're going to charge us per person, not per the original. If we said 15 people was coming, now we got 10. Why we the 10 of us is paying for the 5 people who ain't here? Y'all could have packed that food up. Y'all could have took less scoops of that mashed potatoes. That wasn't like special mashed potatoes you made specifically for me.
It
Those were
wasn't catered.
potatoes. You dig what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like, nah, I feel the type of way about that. But I say that to say, as I'm talking to you, I realized that one of the things that I noticed is that I have way more. And just remember, I told you my godmother told me last night when she was like, well, I told you this last night. And she said that, yo, you still have too much ties, too much emotion to it. And I just realized where the comparison. I spent exactly the money I lost the last 2 days is the exact amount of extra money I spent last week on my daughter's stuff. One I flipped tables over, the other one I was like, well, I'm glad she had a good time.
And guess what? You kind of had a reason to be upset with the other one, but you decided it was worth it.
Right.
It wasn't a calculated risk. It was an L. Right? You know what I mean?
Right,
The other stuff was a calculated risk. Like that's literally part of the game. But you still be angry.
Still be tight, fam. Like, what is happening, dog? What is happening? So I guess that's one thing. What's something new you learned this year that you would not have expected to be learning at this moment? You understand I'm asking you? Like,
Yeah, I do.
Get your answer, baby. What's up?
Dang, I can't think about it. It's not like you told me about this shit last night.
Nah, I just thought about that shit just now.
So I actually I listened to an audiobook that was very interesting, and I'm gonna tell you about it, and because it just shone a different light on something. And it's called The Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning. death cleaning. It's literally about when you start to get older, processing your shit, like not emotional shit, your physical shit, like getting rid of your stuff. And you know, I got a lot of shit. So if I see stuff like on minimalism, even though I don't think I could do it, I'm a take what I could get from it. So I listened to this audiobook and it was nice because I went through that shit. Not really, because I couldn't process it. My dad had so much shit when he passed that I just went in there and I took a couple things I wanted and I threw my hands up. But it's about preparing for what you can, making your life, downsizing your life to something that you can handle. And it's written by a woman who says she's between 80 and 100. And it's about, and she goes through all the things that you would have to get rid of, where to start, how to get rid of it, donating, selling, throwing it away, how to plan for your new smaller space if you move, downsizing from a house. She talks about the times that she had to do it, and like I think she had to do it when like one of her in-laws passed, and then she had to do it when her mom passed, and then eventually she had to do it when her husband passed. And it just makes you think about the legacy you leave behind and how much more shit, or even how people recycle things, or now the stuff that she used to have is called, people thrifted, and now it's what's the word, older, vintage. Now it's vintage, and stuff like that. And even down to a point where she was speaking about she had to relocate from the US back to like the Netherlands or something like that, and one of her dogs was too old to relocate or to make the trip, and she had to put down one of her pets because she couldn't find him a house. Like just shit, huh?
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah, just shit like that, and it was just really made a like an impact on me. Think about how much stuff I have. Think about what would happen if that. And she's like, how to start from the big stuff and go small, because the smaller stuff tends to be more sentimental. How to like divvy stuff up with your kids if you have kids or friends or family or whatever, and even like down to like get rid of shit that you don't want people to find out about, like
Bruh. I ever told you I had that conversation with a friend of mine.
man.
His girlfriend caught him, talking to somebody else or whatever, and they worked through it. I feel like, anyway, that's a whole nother conversation we could have. Like, if I cheat but you were like mean or neglectful or whatever, like, yeah, the answer is to break up. But shit, sometimes I just need this gap filled. But anyway, long story short, they worked it out. So he admitted, I was like, how did she find out? He was like, she went through my phone. She felt like I was acting weird. One was intuition. Went through my shit, found what she was looking for. I was like, damn. I was like, we had that whole conversation. My summary was, so she got your password, my nigga? Like, what the fuck? He said, I ain't got no password. I said, shit, let me tell you something. I have in my will, throw my phone in the garbage, nigga. Like, take my phone to my lawyer and put that shit in the microwave. Like, do not
put that shit in the microwave. Me and my work friends had a jokey joke. It was like, oh, something ever happened to one of us, we do Operation Peppermint, and somebody come in and scoop up that phone, and they got the password. They can get what they need out of it and go about their business.
Go right in the toilet, nigga. Like, I don't care if the police got it, nigga. You wait at the precinct. It shit is done. It's my responsibility now. Crack over the head with a hammer. Do something. Throw shit in the hustling. Let that shit go. And it's not so much that I have like stuff out there that I'm like so ashamed of or whatever. Just like, that's my private shit. I want to die with some stuff. let me be in heaven talking to my people.
Not you want to die with some stuff.
Hell yeah. You already know some people will be looking at you. Like, listen, let me tell you one thing.
I'm going to type my shit up real nice for my expose and air motherfuckers out at my funeral.
I ain't got the time for that. Let me tell you, one of the things.
My funeral has very specific directions.
One of the most unfortunate things I discovered on my spiritual journey is that once you die, you see past, present, and future as one. So that's why sometimes people come back to you and they speak to you and they kind of like tell you things, and then it kind of happens because they're looking out for you, right?
Mm.
So I thought about the people like I just found out a cousin of mine died. I wasn't really close to him. I mean, he always commented on my Facebook stuff, but he was older than me. I felt like he passed today, and I was just like, damn, like I feel like he just commented on my shit last week. Or maybe over the weekend when I posted for my daughter, I think he commented on that. And he like 3 days later, he dead. You know, my uncle passed away
Sorry to hear that.
a couple like on New Year's. You know what I'm saying? So, and I feel like somebody else I know passed away too. Nevertheless, when you got people close to you that passed away, they see all your dirt immediately. Like once they transition, they see everything you've ever done and everything
Mm-hmm.
you was ever going to do. And I knew that to be true because on one of my readings, they was like, yo, you can't do X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, I'm not going to do it. And then the next time, like maybe a couple of months later, I was like, I'm going to do that shit anyway, right? And I did that shit. And then when I was praying one time, my aunt definitely came to me and was like, listen, bro, you want this shit, but you doing the dumb shit? I seen you do it before. I was like, I forgot about that. So I just tell people all the time, if you got a family member or somebody you trying to hide something from your whole life, when they die, they know. You did that.
The chat is sending their condolences, sir.
Thank you.
What about you? What you learned this year that you didn't expect to learn this year?
For real? Like, I'm gonna say some for real shit, like some real, like, you know, intellectual stuff. But at the moment, I'm really that nigga for real. Like, yo, everything that I like, I feel like I finally crossed that hump of me being like, can I, will I, should I, to like, this is what I'm doing, and then everything goes, and all that I need is going to revolve around me. And literally, I put that mindset out maybe about a month ago, and literally, it's just been happening that way. So, and I say that arrogantly because, like, oh, don't let me prove that I. Man, let's step a little bit back for a minute. So, you know, my New Year start. Well, really
Yes,
my
right.
birthday, but I do my thing around the winter solstice too. So actually, this was the first year I didn't look at the winter solstice as a New Year because of some things that I learned about the things that happened around my birthday, which is in March, you know, around spring.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to realize, oh, there is no such thing as a New Year. This is why it's cyclical. So we celebrate New Year like, oh, it's a new beginning. Any day is a new beginning. September 29th, August 3rd, any day is a new beginning because it's I feel like the calendar, right? The calendar, not even stacked, is literally the cyclical, right?
That's what I meant. Like, it's instead of something that's like linear,
right. And I feel like
all
the
at the same
calendar,
time. Like, it's.
I feel like the calendar is a representation of life, where we pretend like it ends, like there's a beginning to and an end, and it's not, right? Like December 31st isn't the end of the year; it's the end of the calendar of how we grade the years.
All the ancient calendars are circles.
Exactly. So I look at that as a formulation of life. Like life is not finite. Our bodies may be, like you're born to die, literally. Like your cells duplicate so they can't duplicate any longer. But that has nothing to do with the mind and the spirit. And you know your calendar might end, but the sun is still going to rise, you know, on the 1st every year. So that's not what I was getting to. So one of the things I wanted to get to is right. So I had, so this is around, I start feeling different going up to the solstice. So I was at a Friendsgiving, and I had a couple of people talk about, I heard them talking about me, and one guy said, he's a really, really close friend of mine. He said to me, yo, man, if I had Devon's confidence, I would have been a millionaire 10 years ago. And I didn't say anything. Internally, I was OD conflicted. Like, bro, if you only knew what I had to deal with in terms of my own self-confidence on a daily basis. But then I said, damn, what is it that I'm projecting that people see that envy me? Meanwhile, I'm looking at some of my friends and family members like, damn, I'm glad that they're moving up, and I need to be able to move up, right? But they look at me as if, nah, like, if I could be more like him, I would be better. And that like was astounding to me. I had to have a conversation about it because I was just like, I couldn't understand what they saw in me.
Mm-hmm.
And then because what they see as confidence is literally just me being me existing. I don't exude confidence because I'm intentionally trying to exude confidence. That's just who I am, right? But who I am is also a person who has certain insecurities, a person who's afraid to fail, a person who is afraid to let people down who's counting on them. You know what I mean? Like all of that exists in one. But I also know deep down inside, like I can really do anything I set my mind to, right?
Do you
So
know how many times people fucking be like, Divinity is cool as a cucumber. She don't sweat nothing. She don't care about shit. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, okay.
right,
Sounds good.
right. So I was saying like I think one of the things that I noticed is that, and I think I said this to you before, privately. I don't think I said it while we were talking on publicly, but I think we exist in three different phases, like at all times. Like we're out who we are right this second, who we're going to be, and who we were, right? And we're trying to step away from who we were and change who we were to be better now, so that we could live up to the potential of who we're supposed to be, right?
Mhm.
And I took that and analogized it. I don't know if this is a real word, but I created an analogy of you have three people: who you are, how people see you, and like the internal self.
Yeah,
How
yourself,
you
how
perceive yourself.
you see yourself and how everyone sees yourself.
Right. So it's like, so again, so I'm like, damn, how I see myself is way different than how people see me. And that's oftentimes different than who I actually am.
Same.
And I'm like, oh wait, but when people perceive me as this thing, that's positive because some people don't view it as positivity. I had a whole conversation recently, like, yo, man, I've had people like call me arrogant, and I'm just like, no, you're insecure. You know what I mean? Like, you know, but I noticed that my future self is often how people perceive me. And I'm like, oh, so I'm trying to live up to the expectation of who people already think I am.
Ooh, ooh, that's nasty work, yo. That's nasty work.
That's crazy.
That's nasty work, yo. Um, that's heavy. That's fucking. First of all, trying to live up to anybody's fucking expectations is a hell of a mission.
But what if the expectation that they meet is that they see you for who you really are, which is the greatness that resides in you that you fail to see?
Fair, because everything we want to be is already within us, just like everyone we was is also within us. And how many times do you come across people who knew you back in the day and they still see you in the same light as who you were back then, and then they have a hard time reconciling your growth?
I have a perfect example of that. So a couple of years ago, literally 2 years, this December will make 2 years, right? I had a conversation. Well, like, it was like 3 or 4 of us, and I had a conversation with one of my cousins in front of my other cousin. And how I handled that conversation was vastly different, right? Than how I handled it in the past. Both the confrontation or whatever. I was like really stern in what I said, but at the same time, I was like loving and like motivational in my in my criticism was motivational. It was productive. It wasn't to tear anybody down. It was like, I know you can do better now. Why? Tell me why you can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And anyway, the next day, my other cousin was like, yo, bro, I'm not gonna hold you. He said, last night I seen you mature like 1,000 years ahead of where you were.
That's
Because
them kids. Them kids will have you.
nah, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. But it was deeper than just being a parent. But yeah,
I
I
know,
can't take that
but
away.
that's what I see. I
Can't
see
take that
like
away.
that's how we got to think about how when we address conflict with our. Not saying that your cousin is a child, but
No,
it
I know
makes
what
you
you
look
mean.
at and even with the being like nurturing part and
Right.
motivational, and then even just not projecting how you feel on another person and asking them why they can do it, and shit like that.
Right. Yeah. So that conversation happened the next day, and he was just like, "Yo, like, I'm kind of proud of you, bro. Like, I didn't know you would handle it like that. And I'm actually impressed. I learned something from that. And I was like, damn, I ain't never really had nobody tell me that before. I appreciate you seeing me. And then another cousin who we're really close to, something similar happened, but it wasn't with her. It was like externally. And what happened was she kind of intervened in the conversation thinking that I would respond a certain way. And I stopped her and I said to her, hey, listen, I'm not going to hold you. You kind of don't know me like that. Like, you know me for a long time, but you don't know who I am at this moment. Let me respond how I'm going to respond. And then if there's something I need to be criticized, then do it on the back end. But don't assume I need to be criticized before I speak. You know what I mean? I'm like, don't
give me have a little faith in me.
Not taste the food, add salt. Now it's too salty. You know what I'm saying? Like, taste the food first, see what it needs.
Yeah,
and,
give me
you know, that's a kind of a one example, but yeah, that's how people see you. You know, people see you as they perceive you, and when you're on your path and your journey, you know when it's archaic, that point of view. You know when it's like, they don't really know what's going on with me, and you know you give them a blessing, you keep it pushing. If there's no conversation to be had, sometimes there's a conversation to be had. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, I throw one more thing in the mix that I learned. I had a conversation with my sister, and we were talking about, like, because she, you know, she came out for my daughter's birthday, my oldest sister, and we had a conversation beforehand. We were talking about, like, oh, when the school thing happened. Remember, I was telling you, like, I was trying to get my daughter to the school and then missed the date. Anyway, I was really frustrated about baby mom. She put some things in perspective because she's the Aries. She was just like, I would have been mad at you too. I'm just like, yeah, but there's more to this. Anyway, that conversation came to, like, you know, we don't always have to see each other at events, right? Like, and I was just like, well, you know, I don't like to bother people, blah 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 blah. And she was just like, if you just wanted to come over, like, come over, my nigga. Like, I'm not here to be like, I don't want you to come over. Like, just chill. Like, I don't have no problem with that. And I was just like, and as she was saying that to me, I was kind of like defending my stance on why I don't like just kind of chill with people. And then I realized I was projecting my necessity to be alone off the time because I'm either working or I'm with my kids.
Oh, okay. So
And
you
I'm just
would
like,
hate it, so you wouldn't think
So
about doing it because.
And I started to realize that I project my necessity to be alone because I do need to be alone some days. Like, I don't want to sleep next to nobody. I want to be by myself. I don't want nobody in my crib. I don't want to go out. Like, there's some days I just need to be dolo. I took that and applied that to how I usually interact with people. Like, I do on others, right? Doing others that you wouldn't want done to you. And I realized that sometimes what's good for you is not good for the gander. And you may be spiting your relationships because you're the things that you want, and then you're projecting what your needs are to other people. And then that brought me back to a time where I was dating somebody, and, you know, she had a family member pass away, and I let people grieve. Like, you tell me how you want me to help you grieve. I'm not going to interject myself. And I feel like because I didn't interject myself. It hurt our relationship. And she was like, nigga, I needed you there. And I was just like, well, you didn't tell me that. And she was like, why did I have to? Somebody that was close to me died. And I was like, because I need you to tell me that, because I wouldn't want you around if I didn't want you around if I'm grieving. I like to grieve alone before I go around people.
The problem is the communication. Y'all both assume that the other would know.
No doubt. But nevertheless, I apply my standard to somebody else's thinking. And I realized that even though that might work for you and that might provide you peace and comfort, like you said, ask. Like, we don't hang out a lot. But I don't always want to do stuff. But do you want to do things with me?
Yeah.
I don't mind doing things.
I have a friend who does that. She'll, like, send me a message and be like, hey, are you available to talk? And I'm like, yeah. And then she'll be like, are you sure? Are you not, like, tired? And I said, all I do now is I'd be like, I'm not, if I don't, I'm like, I had to reassure her. I said, I have firm boundaries. If I don't feel like talking to you, I'm not responding or not picking up the phone. I've submitted my answer. If I said I'm available to you, that's the answer. Like, you know what I mean? But she probably thinks about how people treat her, or I felt like she was projecting her people pleasing onto me, like, oh, she's just doing this, or she's doing too much for me, or da 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 da. And I was just like, no. Because if I don't want to, I'll just send you a text telling you I'll talk to you another time. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, no, we do stuff like that. Or people, I've gotten the reverse where I'd be so in my own little way of thinking in my world where it would be like somebody was like, why didn't you ask for help? And I'd be like, I've been so disappointed from asking people for help that I don't ask for help no more.
I've had that conversation with you.
Yes, you have.
It's like, what the hell is wrong with you? I feel like you text me something one day. I remember the day I was doing the peer support thing at the time, and I remember I was in Brooklyn, and you were like dead sick or something like that, or something happened, and maybe that's when you was out on leave or something. Whatever happened.
Oh, it might have been.
I remember texting you something, and you wrote me back something that was such bullshit that I remember parked in my car staring at I'll never forget, my phone was on my steering wheel, and I remember looking at my phone like, what the fuck is wrong with her? And I just called you like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why didn't you just ask me? And you was like, I was like, you don't have an answer. You was just like, wait, hit me out. I don't like asking for help. I'm like, but you literally needed the help. Like, you cut your nose to spite your face because you didn't want that. For what?
It's not part of my thought process.
It wasn't like I was in I made it awkward where you had to say, is he offering help? I literally said to you, what do you need me to do? And you were like, I'm good. What the fuck is wrong with you? Hey, I mean, you explained it to me, but oh man, that's exactly what it is that I'm talking about, though. Where because you had a disappointment or whatever, and you feel like, or whatever thing you're projecting on, they're just like, he can't.
I gotta do everything by myself. I gotta handle
really help. He wouldn't really help, would he? And it's like,
that's not even a consideration. That question doesn't even pop into my head,
which is crazy.
It doesn't. It's just not even part of the process. But I used to get yelled at.
I had that conversation with you before. I told you when I was in Africa. And this is the fucked up thing about being Black in America, right? It be the little things. So when I was in Africa, right, every hotel I stayed at, like, you know, the bellhop or whatever. I mean, I don't know how they got paid or whatever, but they were on their shit. Like, yo, come give me your bags. And, you know, you're in Africa for a couple of weeks, so you got at least 3 bags. You feel me? And I think I had like a duffel. I think I had a suitcase and like a book bag. And they was like, yo, give me it. And I was like, you can't take my book bag, but you can have these, right? And but it was hard, for me to give up my bags because I wasn't used to that. And you know, to this day, that was almost 6 years ago. In a couple of months, I was in Africa, and to this day, 6 years later, I've been to at least 20 different hotels. I might be around that area. I'm just talking about from like a little quick trip to whatever. I don't think but maybe one hotel during COVID, I had somebody actually take my bags.
Now, that's only happened to me internationally. Like, where you come in and they be like, oh, well, you know, your room, we need 15, 20 minutes. Here, leave your bags here. And then we're going to bring it and set it outside. Oh, they did it on the cruise.
All right. So that happened. All right. That happened to me at a resort. But I paid for like top-notch room at that resort. So
they brought it to the door. Like,
so the point is, I had a hard time accepting that because I wasn't used to it. Let's fast forward. No, I'll give it 2 more examples. One more example before I get to the other example of how that type of thinking hurts relationships. There was one time I was working at, this is before I became a manager, when I was working at United. And I had just came up from a job. I mean, it was like a year in between, but I just came off a job where, like, if you was like 30 seconds late, they was on your ass. So I got caught up on the subway, MTA, right? MTA was MTAing. And I got to work like 14, 15 minutes late. And my director, his office, I had to pass him to get to my cubicle. And I kind of like just did pass the nigga, right? I didn't say no good morning, nothing. And maybe like an hour or two later, let's say this is like 9:15 in the morning, maybe like 11 o'clock, he came to my desk and was like, yo, everything good? I was like, everything good. He was like, how was X, Y, and Z? I was like, hey, it worked out. He was like, yo, why did you like sneak past my desk this morning? I was like, what do you mean? He was like, bro, I saw you walk past my desk. You say good morning, nothing. And I was just like, I got an answer for you, my nigga. He was just listening. He said, I don't know where you came from, but I don't care if you're 10 to 15 minutes late. Like, don't be egregiously late without letting me know. But I understand subway, blah, 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 blah. And he said, if you really want to be technical, you could always just say a half hour late if you were a half hour late. Just let me know that you're running late. I don't care. I care that you do the job. I don't care that you're a few minutes late because the MTA did some stupid shit. It happens every day to everyone. As long as you're not like 15 minutes late on a regular basis, just thinking that, fuck it, I don't care. I don't care about any of that, bro. Like, I care about the job being done. He said, I don't hire people who I want to fire because they were 15 minutes late. I hire people because I know that they could do the job, even if they are 15 minutes late. And I was just like,
I wish my job understood that.
But yo, you understand how that changes your perspective?
Because now, I do. I tell my daughter this all the time. You can't be late and slow.
But because I had that conversation with him and there was a communication, it didn't hurt the relationship, but it could have hurt my professional relationship. I give another example. Right, I'm having issues when it comes to like women, right, and communication, right. I feel like if our relationship isn't like topical,
you don't say.
So if our relationship isn't really topical, then I feel like the communication that I have a hard time with is it lower my value, my self-worth. Now I'm gonna explain how, right? So I'm not perfect by any stretch. Like, I've done fuck shit, I've been a fuck boy, all that other stuff. And sometimes I don't feel like I deserve everything that I deserve because I've done things in the past. And here's that three body problem, right? I'm dealing with the past version, the current version, my future self. So sometimes I accept certain things that maybe I shouldn't accept, in large part because I know I've done shit in the past that was like egregious, right? That's not who I am now. But I look at the past like, well, I've made these mistakes. Maybe it's okay that she feels this way. But then what happened was I had somebody who actually spoke life into me when they were wrong. Picture that. And it was like, damn, not only was I wrong, but I'm going to apologize to you in a way that shows that not only did I have contrition, but that I never want to do this again to make you feel this way again. And I'm going to say this verbally, and I'm going to show it through action. Oh, shit. Wait a minute. The thing that I've always wanted is something that I actually deserve. So then when I had conversations with the people who kind of didn't do that, I then saw disrespect way more clearly. Because it's like, oh, wait, you just don't care about how I feel generally. You might treat me nice, but you don't give a fuck about how I feel. And I used to think that I didn't deserve that because of the things that I did in the past. And now I'm sitting here like, wait, I deserve that too. And just because you can't respect me because maybe there's something that I did to you in the past you can't get over, and now you don't respect me because of that, that doesn't mean that I have to take that. That doesn't mean
you don't. No.
That doesn't mean that I deserve that now.
No, it doesn't. Therefore, it means you deserve to remove yourself from the relationship if you cannot treat me with respect. If you're so upset and so unhealed that you can't stand to be around me.
Short, so that every time you kick a rock, it hurts extra more. So yeah.
When we were talking about, like, I've been seeing a lot of conversations about, like, you know, the philosophy of stoicism and stuff like that, and like people want to be like, feelings aren't facts, you know, and they're not, but they're valid and they're important. And everyone, you cannot care. They were trying to tell these men, I'm sorry, but they were men, that you cannot say you care about somebody and you love someone, but you don't give a fuck about how they feel.
Right. I agree 100%.
You cannot separate those two things.
I agree 100%.
So you cannot disregard my experience and then be like, no, but I love you, but what you're saying and everything you believe is false. It's not real. It's not a number. Like
yeah, I think it takes a person of a certain intellect and I say intellect, I don't just mean like how you can figure out math problems, but also an emotional intelligence to be like, listen, baby, I understand why, I like to understand how you feel. And I think I said this to somebody, I don't remember, but I was going back and forth with somebody. And I remember saying, I'm pretty smart. I'm a pretty smart guy. Like I'm actually maybe on the high end of intelligence. If I can't understand what the fuck you're saying, it's something wrong with what you're saying. Because my goal is to try to understand what you're saying. I don't have to agree with you, and you could be dead wrong, but I understand why you feel that way.
And even I have friends who
hold on. Didn't we talk about that in one of the episodes when I played the video where the guy was like, "Yo, you go through the motions of understanding why she feels that way, then you break it down with facts. No, you're right for feeling that way because of the circumstance and because of your history, because of this, because of that. But this breakdown actually happened. Like there's a way to say, nah, I get it. Like think about it.
So I mean, all our information is filtered through our individual perspectives. That
right.
Sometimes you have to sort it out. Well, which is me and which is you, and then what's real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. And what I was saying is, I feel like people. What happens is, I don't know. You made me lose my train of thought. I'm fucking old. And it's past my bedtime too.
It is. I
Definitely.
can't. You're so funny, old man. No, yeah.
For the record, I'll be working from like 8 o'clock in the morning till like I literally stop working.
I know.
The people don't know.
I'm gonna tease you though.
I mean, they don't know. I'll be working, man. Oh! Another thing that I learned this year. I'm in my learning phase. It's gonna come to me. God damn, what was it? Burnt out. I literally was burnt out the other day. Like literally almost quit. Like, yo, this is it. Can't do it. And I realized that how this is going to sound crazy. The last 2 years have probably been the worst years since COVID. So since 2020, 23 and 24, for the different reasons, were probably the 2 worst years. Equally bad financially, but I do think that I hit a low and I'm coming back. I had to share some stuff and learn some lessons, but I'm coming back. With that being said, I treated myself really well, gave myself a lot more grace than I thought that I did. I didn't think that I gave myself grace, but I realized that it was too hard for me to make the same amount of money I was making before, and then that was a lot of my issue. But I never felt burnt out. Even though there were days, and you was on the phone with me, I'm literally going insane, talking about like, yo, I don't know how I can do this no more. I wasn't burnt out. I was overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed with the circumstance, not with the things that I was doing. Yeah. Last week, it may have been Saturday or Sunday. I had a conversation with somebody, and they like asked me a question like, what do you need? And I was like, rest. I'm tired, but not physically. I am tired of thinking. That's how tired I am. I'm tired of thinking. I'm tired of thinking that I need to do. I'm tired of doing because I need to think. I am tired. And I realized over the last, since I would say, it had to be since the summertime. Since I was grinding out, let's say since July, I haven't really rested. I have a lot of 6 and 7 day work weeks for different reasons and things like that, and I haven't rested. And I'm giving myself until May before I go into real crazy respite. And as I'm preparing for that, I'm almost like doing the gradual descent into madness. Like I see it on the horizon. I see me going crazy. I see it coming. And I'm like, let's take a day off before we descend into this madness state. And it's been working because I was going to go crazy over the weekend. Like on Saturday, I was just like, oh no. And then I wound up working on Saturday because I realized, I spent a little extra money. Let me make sure I do to get paid. I was just like, yeah, damn, another Saturday I'm working. And I got to work this Saturday, in large part because I can't work the full day I would normally work on Friday because child stuff for my kids. So I'm just like, let me work this extra Saturday to make sure, because I have goals. Even I don't get paid like hourly like other people. I have goals that I need to make. So I have to hit those goals. I need the amount of time to hit those goals. And I'm just saying to myself, like, damn, like I'm really just tired. And I don't see an answer for that, like in sight, other than I need to rest, recalibrate, and keep working to that. All of my income that I need for everything that I want to do is passive. And I feel like this is like a microcosm. Remember, I had a 12-year plan. I'm in year 3. This is a microcosm of me, not just descending into madness until May, but descending into madness until 2033. Like, I have a 9-year descent into madness, so that however many years I live past 50, I live ascending into my peace, my tranquility, and everything else. Like, I'm going to be a monk for the last 50 years because I have literally afforded to be peaceful. I had to afford peace, which is also insane to think about.
My worry is that, and this is why I said do grounding exercises. They're not just for, work applications, because you might get to a point, because they are practices, and clearly you're not naturally leaning into them. You get to a point where you can't. You'll get to a point where you can't, where you don't know how, or like the people at my job like to do, you retire and then you die. So like you need to, you can't think that it's going to be all peaches and cream. You could turn your brain off. My friend was talking about that the other day, and she was like, she's like, I need, like, everyone needs rest. And I feel like that's what I've been doing. I've been giving myself a lot of grace. My bills is paid. I'm going to work and shit like that. But if I have other stuff to do and it's not high on the priority list and I don't feel like doing it, I'm not fucking doing it. No one can make me do it. Everyone's fed. Like, tell me why. You know what I mean? So, but she was talking the other day and she was like, oh, when I'm sitting down, even when I'm trying to rest, I'm sitting here planning out my day. I'm thinking about everything I have to do. Da, 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 da. And she said something about being bored. And I said, being bored's a luxury.
Bruh.
And she goes, huh? I said, being bored is a luxury.
I don't remember the last time I was bored. As an adult.
I said, I don't be bored. I said, she was like, so what?
Always something to do.
What happens when you just sitting around? I said, I just sit. She's like, that's my problem. I can't just be. I said, yeah, I just sit there and exist. I'm not sitting here planning for the future. I'm not reminiscing about the past. When I sit and do nothing, I'm not doing shit. Like, and I don't feel a way about it. I don't feel guilty about it. I don't feel like, oh, I should, like, you know what I mean? And I was just like, yeah, I haven't been bored in years.
Decades.
I have way too much shit on it's not possible.
Decades.
Yeah. I have not been bored forever.
Oh my God.
In fact, that's why I like going to my destination, because that's the only place where I could be bored if I wanted to be bored. If I put my phone down, I could be bored up there because I don't have anything that constantly remind me of all the shit I have to do. I can't be bored in my house or in my city. That's for damn sure.
Listen, I am 40 years old with a 21-year-old child. You can't be bored with a kid. I've been not bored for half my life. The last time I was bored that I can really remember, I'm not talking about like, all right,
I was a teenager.
I'm doing this job and the job is boring because I'm still thinking about I got to do the job and there's other things that I need to do. The last time I really remember being bored was in Western Civilization class, where I was literally
art history. Oh,
last time I was bored.
Art history might have been it for me. That was Brooklyn College. So
I'm like, Western Civilization, what is this? I thought this was gonna be like fun history. We literally learning about. I don't remember them niggas. I just remember when we brought up like one African guy, the whole class looked at me. What?
Not you being the token.
Right. Definitely was token. That I should get that t-shirt. I should definitely get that t-shirt. I'm an asshole. Anything else that you've learned?
It's well in my defense. I started off the year getting over whatever that stomach bug, stomach flu, norovirus thing was. So I didn't come in strong. I didn't celebrate New Year's. I did end up being on the phone, but I didn't mean to do that. That wasn't the plan. I was supposed to be asleep. And then
That's why you were sick.
I was supposed to be asleep. I was not asleep. I didn't even mean to stay up. But I just heard the people in the hotel around me start screaming numbers. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah. That and fireworks and gunshots. Oh, 12 o'clock.
Exactly. Well, we didn't get fireworks. Oh no, there was fireworks. There was fireworks too. There was fireworks twice. They had 8 p.m. and midnight. But and then the tooth problem and the face infection, which is gonna go get handled tomorrow. So
well, I'm gonna tell you, like I told somebody else who told me they had a little bad start to the year. Get that shit out the way now.
Facts.
So September, October, November, we'd be like, damn, that was a good ass year. Remember early in the year I had that shit with my tooth? Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, because the rest of the year went so good. Get it out the way now. You don't want to go into Thanksgiving talking about, damn, I can't eat shit. Be mad.
Oh yeah, that sucks. That sucks real bad.
Be mad. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
man. Oh my god.
Other than that, I got my list. I got my goals.
You got your vision
board. My loans coming off next month, but I got more debt to pay off. So
you got my loans. You got your vision board. You got your vision board. Don't you get here?
Huh?
You get here. Get your shit together. Get it together. I give you a week before I'm on your ass.
A week? I don't even. This ain't even.
I brought this up to you. I brought this up to you a month ago.
I'm supposed to be hibernating.
Yeah, you hibernating. While you hibernating, you draw in the cave. What you mean? Ain't no excuse. I brought this up to you a month ago.
My shit ain't never gonna look like your shit. I don't give a fuck.
I ain't ask you to be me.
Ain't nobody writing a book for fucking.
So first of all, I don't know if I said.
Nigga, you got like 4 vision boards.
3. Stop. But personal, business, and financial. That's also personal and business.
And family.
That's personal. Okay. When I did my vision board this year, I realized how bad. All right, so 2023 was bad, like externally. Like I got beat the fuck up in 2023, like physically, all that other stuff. I'm still fighting for shit from 2023. Real talk. Still. 2024 was really bad internally. I didn't know it until I looked at my vision board. Because when I looked at my vision board, I realized how much I didn't do on my vision board. Matter of fact, I had stuff from 2023 on my vision board. Yeah, I read it. I can't even come to your defense. So, but I love you though. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? I realized how bad 2024 was because I was looking at my 2024 vision board and I seen stuff for 2023 that still wasn't done. So I simplified my vision board. I made it more just goal oriented. And I took it to where I actually have, how I do my weekly goals or whatever, that I actually have monthly goals now. And I try to get rid of the monthly goals based on what's on the vision board. So I actually have a little bit of a process to try to get things done.
Don't you know, like I am what do they fucking call it?
Procrastinate.
Not just that. God damn it, for the life of me. The signs. I'm all of the like very fluid signs, like the go with the flow signs, the like.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I always say I can use a little of you and you need a little of me. I need to be able to be like, we be all right. I've been learning. I've been doing way better, but you need some of me. You need to be on your shit sometimes.
My bills is paid. The universe provides. No, I think for me, is that I am not naturally ambitious. Like I'm sitting here listening, trying to, Jesus Christ, Think and Grow Rich, right? I should just pick up the book because the audio book is killing me, right?
The
And it
book
was
is,
like, yeah, but you have to really want it. And I'm like, I don't really want nothing. Like,
I don't agree with that. I just don't think that what it is that you're ambitious about is tangible.
okay, valid. And it's very much personal and internal. Like, it'd be
Because you
stuff
are
that can't be
ambitious.
really
Like
shown. I
like
mean, you see it when you see it.
you're a
But
Sagittarius. There's no way you aren't ambitious. It's just that your ambition isn't externally driven. 90% of people's ambition is externally driven. My
actually, no, that's
external,
not true.
my
All of my
external,
ambitions are externally driven, but they're not always in tangible forms. It's not like everything I do is really for the betterment of the world, my family, my child. Like, it's not for me. I don't need a lot. That's the problem. I don't need shit.
nah, that don't sound right. So it is externally. No. Here's what it is that I mean. I want to do stuff for my kids. That's not an external drive. That's internal. My kids are fed, they're clothed, they're housed. Fuck else more do you need? I don't need to really
To
go
be
the
happy.
extra
My
mile.
kids is happy too. My
At some point, nothing I'm gonna do is gonna make nothing. That's not true. Let me not even say that. At some point, happiness is gonna be determined on them. I have to show them what it looks like so they can reach that goal on their own. Right.
Mhm. I guess.
I feel like my internal drive for my desire of my kids to want to be great and to view me as a good person drives me to do the extra things. That drives me to have the hard conversations. That drives me to sit in things that I don't want to sit in. That drives me to be more stern when I don't want to be stern. Like I tell one of the things I complain about all the time when it comes to my son is like sometimes I just want to be a dad. I don't want to have to be a disciplinarian. But this motherfucker don't listen. Yo, 3 days in a row, I'm like, yo, he busted his ass on the ice yesterday. I said, yo, you gotta watch out for walking on the ice. Cause this is like his first real cold winter. This nigga fucking feet in the air. Bow. Damn, daddy, my butt hurt. Right. Stop walking on the goddamn ice. Every chance this nigga get, he's walking on the fucking ice like he ain't just bust his ass. Bro, what's wrong with you? Why do I have to repeat myself about you hurting yourself? Boys are retarded, bro. So I'm just like, I don't get it. But I don't want to be that version. But it's not that I just don't want to be that version. It's internal why I want to be perceived a certain way by my kids because I know how I perceive my parents. I assume how my parents receive me. I don't want to be a 67-year-old man and my kids are 30 and 40 years old and they look at me like, this burden. My dad is calling me. I want them to be like, oh shit, dad is calling me. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to talk to my pops. I ain't talked to them all day. You know what I mean? So I strive to be a better person. That's internal. Yeah, it's going to be, what's the word I'm looking for? It's going to be perceived externally.
Yeah, it's going to manifest itself externally, but that's internal.
You know what I mean? You're the same way. Yeah, it might have an external destination, but it's not like this. It's not like the need to make money is an external thing.
Yeah.
Some people validate money.
That's the thing. I don't need the validation. That's what I don't give a fuck.
But so you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people internal drive is because of the external need. You and I both don't operate that way. We operate like, so when people be like, oh no, you're successful at this and that, I'm just like, nigga, what? No, I haven't achieved the things that I want to achieve. You may see achievement. I don't feel that way.
I always get like, oh, you got your life together. And I'm like,
right. That shit is in shambles. What are you talking about?
Shambles, son. Shambles.
No. How did you think it was anything else? So I say that to say, I feel like,
and you got that from
right. I feel like people don't understand your motivation, and I often think because of society, you don't always understand your motivation and your ambition. I see it. I still you can apply some more structure to it, But I seen over especially the last like
Goosebumps.
when did you move from Jersey?
Going on 3 years.
3 years. All right. So I say since 2021. Cause when that time I seen you in Jersey and I went to the airport over there. Remember I parked my car by you?
Mm-hmm.
So since maybe a little bit before then, I seen
That,
like
yeah. That's
I
4
seen
years ago. About yeah.
that was
Yeah,
2021.
2021, 4 years ago. That's when I was in my second apartment. I was by myself.
It was 2021 because it was that winter.
Yeah.
But then I seen you again the next year when I was around my birthday. I do remember that. Because I traveled again and I parked my car around you again that time too.
Yeah, I didn't move until summer. So
Okay,
that
so
makes
that
sense.
makes sense. Damn. That's so crazy because as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, that don't seem like it was that long ago. But now I'm looking at it like, damn, it was that long ago. Anyway, we just got logged off Instagram. It's been an hour.
Okay, that's what. Oh, okay.
It's been an hour.
Good.
All right, everybody else. My time. I have to eat, and
What are you gonna say though? You were bringing up where I was 4 years ago.
I started seeing your ambition to grow. Like I seen and I feel like I tried to like guide you a
It
little
had
bit.
to happen.
These last 2 years are kind of like been a blur. Like I one day I'll talk to you about how I really perceive. Then I was trying to say that with my vision board. I really feel like I just like these last 2 years I've just been in a drunken stir. Like I haven't felt clear until the last month or so, and I'm just like, oh shit, the last 2 years, like I don't know where my
You didn't
soul,
even know where it was until you picked it up again and was like, "Oh shit, I ain't been
bruh.
right."
I ain't been right this whole time. So anyway, but anyway, I feel like, and when I did see it initially, I did try to like kind of steer you in a certain way, but I that was the first time I feel like I seen you like, no, I'm going to learn these things. I'm going to do these things.
Yeah,
Um,
I can understand. That was
I'm
necessary
gonna,
because
you know
I
what I
didn't have
mean?
a relationship to hide behind anymore.
That makes sense.
That was the first time me being myself.
That makes sense. And I'll be telling you, you need to be by yourself.
Nigga, mind your business.
You need to be by yourself. I don't know why you doing that. Niggas don't be listening to me though, even though I'll be right though.
Mm-mm.
I'll be right though. You know what? I had a conversation with my daughter today, and I told her like, "Yo, thank you for listening to me or whatever." Because she be trying to do things her own way, and she be fucking up. And she came to the point at some point recently, she was just like, "You know what, Dad, you be right. So let me listen to you." And
Oh, that's sweet.
she told me today, like, you know what, I'm having a hard time listening to you, my nigga, because this is going against my nature. I said, yeah, your nature's to quit though. I said, you and your brother got the same thing. When things get hard, you get dumb. And when you get dumb, you just, I don't want to do anything because now you feel like you're overwhelmed, but really you just hit a wall of things that you can do. And you feel like you can't do it because of the wall. And it's like the wall is really imaginary. You just have to fight through that. And my son has the same wall. So a lot of times I have to make him fight through it. I see this nigga cry. Yeah, all that. Yeah. But you still gonna do this shit. And he did it right. And I'm just like, look at that. You did it. So
That's like
now
Mia when I was teaching her how to ride her bike. She cursed me cold out in the middle of the street. I was like, there's too many white people around here. You lucky. But best believe once she got it out her system,
she rode that bike.
the very next try, she got it. The very next try.
You
I
gotta
was like,
fight
look.
through it. You gotta fight through it. You gotta fight. If you don't fight through it, then that's what you're gonna be. And I'm telling my daughter, like, nah, you gotta fight through the nonsense. You gotta fight through the nonsense. Cause once you fight through the nonsense, cause we all get a point that we're gonna hit a wall, but it's like, what are we doing after that? Cause I hit several walls and I fought right through that shit. Like even my man said on the live, he was like, bro, ever since me and him been friends now for over 20 years. And he's like, yo, bro, like I never seen you attack something and you couldn't do it. That's not always easy. Like people think that it's easy, but I always compare it to like lifting weights. I could bench press 225 easy, give you 15, 20 reps. Nigga, if you just started bench pressing, you can't do that. It's gonna be hard for you. So
Yeah.
to you, like I had a guy in the gym the other day was like, yo, bro, how you get that strong? Like your leg, like you the same size as me. And I was like, nigga, years of dedication, bro. I know women my size that are stronger than me. And I'm not a weak nigga. So like dedication, bro, you gotta keep doing it. And you know, there's some guys that I look at like, damn, how the fuck he do? Like this one guy who work out. I see a nigga lift 300 pounds over his head with one fucking hand. That nigga, he's not that much bigger than me. And I started doing different exercises, and then I could carry 150 pounds with one hand. I'm like, oh, look at that, getting there. But
I
you
got
got
emotional muscles.
you got you got.
Emotional
No, what I'm
muscles.
saying, you got to train yourself to get to those points. And once you get to those points, it's like it's easier to climb over those walls. Like my daughter look at me like, oh, that was easy for you to do. Nigga, this took 18 years in development. It wasn't new. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just getting to the point. Like I told you what happened with me and my brother. I want to kill that nigga. I'm just like, yo, I couldn't. Like I'm not in the, I'm not that I'm not in the space. I realize I'm still that nigga in my heart. But
No,
I was
you absolutely still can be
right. I
absolutely
was
that
just
person.
like, you know what? Like why? You know what I mean? I
Yes.
built enough tolerance to bullshit to realize when responding to it is actually a negative thing for me.
Yeah.
What am I
When you're
responsible?
losing more than you would gain by winning this fight. Like,
Sticks and stones, man. Sticks and stones, man.
no, absolutely. And same thing. Like I said, oh yeah, people like Davini is cool as a cucumber, you know, she's you know, I'm not saying I take things on the chin, I eat that or whatever, but just like how I view things, and I'm like, mom problems, dad problems, fucking
Mm-hmm.
divorce, toxic ex, like
Mm-hmm.
family beef, like
If you knew what I had to get here, I don't think that you would want that journey for you. Let me be the teacher so you don't have to see what I've seen.
remember when I did that dumb shit and I wrote down all my traumatic experiences in the book, and I was like, I feel away. Like reflecting on that shit, I done forgot shit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
nah.
I pass.
Like, oh man, you're so emotionally intelligent. You don't fucking say.
Don't say.
You don't say.
Don't say.
It didn't come up like this. In
If
fact, I was
you
actually a little bit toxic. Actually, I was quite toxic. I was a little bit of a menace. That's why I'm qualified. Now I'm qualified.
a minute is crazy.
Pay
Crazy.
attention to me.
I am. I'm listening to everything you're saying. Every little thing you say. No, I was going to sing another song, but
I also saw something today, and it was like, when you teach, you got to teach from your scars and not from your wounds. And that's what qualifies me as well. Is that I have a lot of scars. I don't have many open wounds anymore.
scars, not from your wounds. That makes sense. That makes sense because they healed, but they're still there. Nah, that makes perfect sense.
So
I mean, I feel like that's a good one. You know what?
it
I
was
know
so
I heard.
good. It was so good. Someone sits it to me, and I was like, "This is exactly what it was."
No, I already told you that last night, and I said one of the things that I learned or what I heard yesterday was um if you have a need to play, then you have an obligation to fail. Oh, stop playing around, nigga. And you know that definitely that came up in my reading.
Oh,
They was like, oh, they was like, you love the fact that you can do whatever it is that you want to do. That you can't. You got to stop doing what you want to do. You have an obligation. Get to it. Like, damn.
I kind of like when they round you up. Like,
yeah. Even during the reading, I was like, I knew, like, because it's crazy how it works, but I knew what was going to be said and done. I was like, yeah, they're not going to let me do that. Yeah, they're not going to let me do that. To the point where I can't eat pork. I haven't eaten pork. I can't drink. Like, it got real.
I'm doing dry January.
Oh, that's good for you, nigga. I'm stressing. And you know what? I'm not even an alcoholic, right?
I'm not.
I don't ever drink like that anymore, period.
I'm just recovering from my birthday month.
But what I realized is when somebody takes something from you, you crave it more. If I had went out the other night, I probably would have had a drink. You know,
I've been out. I went out once. I'm not gonna.
I went out and I was so annoyed in 15 minutes. I'm like, oh, because I'm sober. This is trash. Why do these people keep bumping me? Why are you so close? Why I don't know you, my nigga. Why are you right here? yo, bro, I actually stopped touching me 2 times already. I gotta leave. I'm gonna have to fight. I gotta go.
Wow.
If
No,
I
I
was
just
nice,
had my pineapple juice and
if
enjoyed
I was
myself.
nice, I would have been like, oh, what's good, fam? Oh, he hit me 2 times. Oh, I must know you from somewhere. Nah, it was none of that. It was like these niggas is getting on all my nerves. And that was wild to me. That was super wild.
But I'm pretty good with fasting from shit, just not like
Yeah, I want bacon. I can't eat bacon. I gotta go buy some beef bacon. I'm like, yo, I want some bacon. I threw that
don't
bacon
make
out.
me some mushroom bacon and call it a fucking day, my nigga.
I won't eat bacon for the rest of my life if I do some shit like that. Not spoon bacon.
Oh,
Some of that devil's mane bacon.
I'm pretty
or
good
lion's
with
mane bacon. I don't want no lion's
fasting
mane
from
bacon.
stuff. The hardest thing to fast from is probably my phone, social media. But I would see the thing is I would have to leave it somewhere. And same thing with like food and alcohol. It's like if I'm cold turkey, I should be pretty good. Even though I did see 2 things that had a glass of wine in it, and I was like, ooh.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, like, yo, when I was out, I got offered a couple of drinks, and I was just like, oh, this hurts. Like I could literally taste the drink that I wanted to have, and I'm just like, oh, this is why you can't. Man, I can imagine with like somebody who has like some type of substance abuse and they're around that. Oh
Yeah.
man, that shit, it gotta hit you.
And it was funny because it was like some fashion chick, and when she did her edit, a glass of wine popped into her hand, and I sent it to my friend, and she was like, "Ew, I hate the outfit." I said, "I ain't talking about the outfit; it's the wine." That wine is bad good in her hair right now. You know, I don't even be drinking like that, but I have a bottle that I bought, and I have a drink I want to make, and it's going to sit here for this 5-6 weeks that it's going to sit here. But yeah, so you ready to wrap this up?
Yes,
my nigga.
I was ready since Instagram went off. You asked me to finish something. So I finished my thought.
Yeah.
I was ready to stop
You holding on to them by your you rarely holding on to the thought. So if you got the thought, I need you to finish the thought.
This is definitely strings on a napkin, boy. I'm struggling.
Whoop, there goes another one. Whoop, there goes another one.
Struggling.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Happy New Year.
Next
We'll
week.
see you next week.
Later, Gators.
Later, Gators. Bye.